Hey, Lobos, Ben Johnson here to show you how to do a Google Meet or Google Hangout, probably the easiest way to have face-to-face communication with your students. I'm going to show you two different ways to do that, but the first step is to get to your Google Drive. So you can see here that I'm in drive.google.com. I'm signed in with my PSD account. That's really important. One way to do it is to schedule a Google Meet. And so what you can do is just open a new tab and just go to calendar.google.com, or you can use the 3x3 waffle here and just go to your calendar from that. So however it's easiest, but let's say that I want to do a 30-minute meet each period, and so what I can just start is by tomorrow go to 9 a.m. on the calendar and double click. And I'm just going to do P1, astronomy, office hours, give it a title, 9 to 10, maybe that's too long, so I'll just do 9:30, and then does not repeat. I want to change that to every weekday, Monday to Friday. Okay, and one thing that you want to make sure you do is add conferencing. You want to make sure that you change that to Hangouts Meet. Otherwise, this doesn't work. And then real important that you grab this address. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this and just want to grab that address. Sorry about this. And I'll just copy that, Control C, otherwise right click on it, copy it. And what you're going to do is send that link out through the PSD gradebook or just post it in your Google Classroom. So either way you want to do that. And then if you want to, you can add guests manually by typing in the PSD email addresses, but a lot of work unless you're just going to meet with one or two students. So I would just alternatively just send this URL out through the PSD gradebook or through your Google Classroom. And then you're just going to go ahead and hit save. And what's going to happen every morning from 9 to 9:30, you're going to get prompted to join this Google Meet, and your students will be able to visit that URL that you sent to them also, and they'll be able to access that Google Meet. And we've got it set every weekday. You can always go in and double click this and edit it for whatever purpose you have. Okay, so that's how you schedule a meet. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do a live one on the fly, just so that you can see how it works. And this will work the same way. You'll just have to wait until tomorrow morning for it to go live. And so I'm just going to go back to my Google Drive to show you how to do one on the fly. So I go back to my Google Drive, I click on the 3x3 waffle here, and I choose Google Meet from my list of apps here. And you can see my screen here. I'm ready to join or start a meeting. I give it a name, so I'm just going to do 323 test. That's today and test, so I'll just hit continue. I've given my laptop permission to use my camera and microphone, but students may be prompted at this point to do that, and they can just you can see on mine, if I click this, it's already allowed. Students will get a prompt up here, and it's really important that they hit allow or else it won't work for them. And at this point I can just go ahead and hit join now. And then I can just copy this joining info, and I could again quickly send that out to my students through the PSD gradebook email, or I could go ahead and jump onto my Google Classroom and post that also. But I'll just go ahead and close this. So I would just copy that, send it through the PSD email. And now I'm ready to once students start joining with that link, you'll see this number here increase. There's a little chat window over here that students will be able to ask questions if they want. And so you can just monitor that feed. And again, it's just me that's here, but you would see all of your students over here on this right-hand side. All right. And as far as recording this goes, for those students that aren't there, you can click these 3 buttons and just record the meeting. You'd want to tell the students that you're recording it, just so that they know that you're recording it. It will save a copy of this. Your Google Drive will make a folder. It'll be, I think, Google Meet or something Meet. It'll put this video in that folder for you. You get an email with a link to the recording also, so if you can't find it for some reason, just look in your email and it will send you a link of the recording that then you can post again in the Google Classroom if you want. If you're teaching something and you want to have that on your screen as well, you can hit this Present Now button and you can choose a window. And I have this web whiteboard open, so I'll just hit Share. And so right now, students are seeing this whiteboard that I have here, and it's just webwhiteboard.com. There's a lot of these. You can go check them out. You could have your Google presentation open in a window. You could have a website, a PDF, whatever you want, but this is what's showing to the students right now. And so as a teacher, you know, if I was a math teacher or something, I could be working the problems here. I'm just drawing with my finger right now, but if you're a teacher with your stylus, you could be doing that. You could have your Google slideshow, you could have your map up here, your diagram, whatever you want, but then the students are seeing this screen during the chat, so that's kind of nice. It's being recorded also, so again, if you're a math teacher working math problems, you know, your students are going to see this on their screen, and it's being recorded for those students that weren't there. So maybe this is your help hours to work problems. And then I'll just go back to my Hangout. I'll stop presenting that whiteboard, and that'll put me back on my screen, and so I could continue to talk to kids. Kids could be asking me their questions that they have here in the chat. So use that however you want. Once you're all finished, to end the call, you're just going to hit this red telephone icon, and that's going to stop the call and the recording. So I'll just go ahead and do that, and I'll just return to my home screen. And what you're going to see in a few minutes is, if you go and check your email, what you're going to get eventually, it'll take a few minutes, but Google is going to send you a recording of that meetup, and you can open it in your Google Drive if you want. And that's helpful in case you want to post this back to your class. So you could hit that share icon and go to advanced, and maybe you want to share that with anyone in PSD with the link, and then you would just hit save, and then it will give you this address. And all these steps that I just did are optional, only if you wanted to be able to post a recording somewhere because you work some math problems or something. Really important that if you do change that share settings, that you only do it to PSD people with the link can view, and that would be assuming that there's no personal sensitive information in your recording. Certainly if you're doing any sort of personal conversation with a student, you would not share that with anybody besides yourself. So only do this last step if it was you working some math problems and there wasn't anything particularly sensitive in that recording, and then I would just go ahead and hit done. Alright, so that's how you do a Google Hangout, both scheduling it and also doing one live on the fly, if you will. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, just zip me an email, benj@psdschools.org. Thanks.